here to show you something about making your own drums. Yes, some great people, or a great person made this drum, a drum for peace, a drum for unity, a drum for our world. And they made it out of very special materials from Mother Earth, Mother Nature. But not everybody has access to the kinds of materials that make a drum like this so special. But we do have access to materials that we can use to make drums. I sometimes get little tubes like this from industry. 8-inch by 8-inch core. Plastic strapping comes on this. Lots of plastic strapping. Lots of cores. They call them cores for this kind of thing. And I get these, and I create drums out of them. I'm going to show you about making your own drums. Now, sometimes you'll get drums from industry that'll be like this. Or we call them drums. They'll call them tubes that are going to the garbage, because they used to have a lot of plastic film on them. I've even been known to go to places where they're making new neighborhoods. And this used to be part of a sewer. Well, actually, before it was a cutoff of something, and they were just going to throw it out. So I painted it and put my membrane on it, which we'll talk about later. I want you to think about all the things around you that make sounds, whether they're large tin cans that you cut out the ends and put a membrane on, or even this, a garbage pail. Makes a great sound. Higher sound. Everything has a different sound. Just like you, just like me, we all sound different. And that's the beauty of working together. Now, how do we take something like this and turn it into a drum? Well, first of all, we can take something like this. We can take some tape. The famous duct tape that holds the world together. Now, this has a beautiful sound. When you put this tape across the drum, it will sound beautiful, but it doesn't hold on to the sound for too long, maybe a few hours. I, myself, like the brown packaging tape. It tends to last a little bit longer. But you can use clear tape, bookbinding tape, all sorts of tape that has a good strength to it. Because here's what we do. First of all, when putting the tape on, we put a layer of tape around the top edge. That gives the other tape that we put across the drum head something to attach onto. I use an X-Acto knife or a little knife like this just to puncture the tape as I'm making my drum head. Then I take one strip and I put it across the middle, and I cut it. And then I stretch it a little bit, not too much. We're not having to fight this. And I take another tape in another direction, and I make a cross or a T or an X, whatever. And that's the basis on which I build this drum. Now, to give it a longer term, so that you can play it for days and months, maybe years, you know, we can use other geometric shapes. I can cut across here in my way of making a square. This gives it a little bit more strength. Again, everything that you do to this drum is done by you, and it takes on your expression. So when you're doing this, you might want to say, hey, I want this drum to sound great. I want it to be a beautiful drum. And you can keep repeating that to yourself. My drum is going to be great. Now what I'm doing here is I'm filling in the rest of the spots here. I'm just going to go around the drum, and I'm going to overlap the tape here about half an inch. We'll probably give it a good feel. And it doesn't have to be too exact, but this will make a really, really good little drum. So this is going to be a great drum. My drum will be a great drum. You keep that in your mind. Keep saying over and over again, I'm going to drum for peace. I'm going to make a better world just by having a great drum. And I hope my friends are all going to have great drums too. Remember, the drum is our voice when we get together in a certain kind of drumming community. All right? Here we go. Once we have all of the tape across the drum, then we can go and we can lock that tape in by putting another layer nicely around the edge. You can stretch that as much as you want, because that tightness will hold that drum head in place. And there we go. This is a drum. Now, because of how the diameter of the drum and the length of the drum, it has that certain sound. If we wanted to, we can make another drum. We can add something more to it. I've already got this drum with a head on it. We could attach a drum like this together. And when we do that, it takes on a deeper beat. Now, I normally don't put two drum heads on each end, but that is the way in which some ceremonial drums are made. But you'll probably be able to hear. It has its own drum sound, just as this drum has a drum sound. It's very heavy. So sometimes if you want to carry your drum, you're in a parade, you could put a rope around it or a string on it. This particular drum had a couple of holes drilled here and here. You could put a string through. It's very light. And that's the way I see making drums. You can create the drums. You can go to a home hardware or a place where they sell sonotubes, 8 to 10 foot lengths. This diameter, larger diameters, smaller diameters, and you can cut up these longer lengths of tubes to create your own drums, and they become very inexpensive that way anyway. For 8 feet tall sonotube about this diameter, we're talking about $10 to $15. And if that's $10 to $15 and you can get 5, 8, 3 drums out of it, they're all quite economical. And of course, packaging tape is not very expensive. So when you're playing drums with your friends and around the circle, please remember to listen to one another. If you can't hear everybody in your circle, maybe you're too loud. And maybe it's time we listen with respect to all of the voices around our circle. And that's what makes a great drum circle, when we're able to listen. Nobody makes mistakes in this drum circle, by the way. Just allow yourself to feel the energy of the drums around you. And hopefully somebody in the circle will say, hey, let's have a heartbeat. Remember the lump dub, your own heartbeat, and importantly, your mother's heartbeat, and importantly, the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. And when we drum, we respect our mothers. And that's our drumming for today. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching.